Welcome back to Red's Roundup. In this video, we're going to go over my top 5 stock research tools. Let's get into it. Number 1, Gurufocus.com. So here we are on Gurufocus.com. I like this website because it gives you a lot of data. You can see here on the home page, it's almost overwhelming, so many things to click on. We're going to just go in, look at Apple. That's a pretty basic stock that I think everybody's seen the graph of, one of the biggest companies in America. So let's get back to focusing on Gurufocus. So they give you a lot of information here. They give you a lot of tools. One of my favorite ones starting off here is these graphs. So they give you graphs of the net income, the revenue, the cash, the debt, the free cash flow, and the net income. They give you really good graphs to help you understand how viable a business is in terms of their income statement and balance sheet. They give you a special chart they call the Peter Lynch chart. I don't know, it depends on what type of stocks you're looking at, whether it's useful or not, but it at times has use because it is named after Peter Lynch himself. Now here's where Gurufocus is special too. They are special for a lot of reasons, but they show you what guru investors own what stocks. So you might know Joel Greenblatt, he's the creator of the magic formula. He had owned Apple at one point. He's reduced his position here, but this gives you a chronicle of all of the guru investors that they call gurus, all the top tier investors that own a different stock, what they're doing, buying, selling, whatever. So that's really interesting for Gurufocus. They have a number of other tools. So 30-year financials. It'll give you a rundown of the past 30 years of a company's financials. So we can see here revenue per share, how that's increased. We see there's dividend, there's an interactive chart, although you have to have premium for it, for most of it. We can also see on the main page here for a stock a number of tools. It gives you a number of ways to value the company: free cash flow, median price to sales value, Graham number, Peter Lynch value, discounted cash flow, all sorts of numbers there for valuing a business. And then more numbers here, profitability numbers. There are more numbers than you will probably use in your stock analysis. So that's why I like Gurufocus. Number 2, optionsprofitcalculator.com. Optionsprofitcalculator.com is essential if you have options as part of your trading or investing strategy. Let me show you why it's so useful. So here at the top of the menu, we have long call, long put, a bunch of single leg options, spreads, advanced options, iron condors, and strangles, straddles, that type of thing. And then you can also make your own custom multi-leg options, so 8 to 2 legs options, which is, you're going to be covered there. Let's just say you'll be fine. So here I choose a credit spread. I'm going to choose SPY. I type in SPY. I say get price. It loads the most recent price. I choose what option I'm going to be long. So I say buy the 2nd of September at $310 a put. It automatically fills in the price per option. You can choose the contracts. It'll tell you the cost. And then you choose your short option. So if you're doing the spread. So I chose to write a 2nd of September there, and then we see their net credit of $4.13. It gives you a range that you can graph it at. It gives you an automatic one, which it thinks you'll like. So here we see the best part about it. It gives you a graph, so it'll tell you what your option is going to be trading at what given day, based on if the implied volatility remains constant. And at expiry, this is just for good. So when it expires, this is what it will be for sure. So we can see here this credit spread, if the prices stay the same, it'll net me around 30%, 29.8% return. So it bases it off of your maximum risk. So here you can see at $309, we're losing 100% of our maximum risk. So we're losing all the money we risked. I highly encourage you, if you're interested in options, get familiar with optionsprofitcalculator.com. You're going to learn a ton of things, a ton of tools, iron condors. It even has option finder. Number 3, fairlyvalued.com. Now, fairlyvalued.com is a fairly obscure site that I don't think a lot of people know about, but it's got some really useful presentation of information. Let's look here at Apple. Apple stock here. We'll pull up Apple. We can see really cool charts of how their revenue has progressed throughout the years, dating back to 1995. We can see it yearly and quarterly, so we can see if they have a revenue spike at a certain time, and we can do yearly or quarterly for all the different charts. So they have revenue, operating income, net income, dividends. We can see how those have progressed throughout the years. Net profit margin, we can see how that's changing. You generally want to get a company that is maintaining or expanding its profit margin. So that's a useful metric. Price earnings ratio here. Cash and short-term investments. Just a lot of really good stuff. Total debt. It's stuff that you aren't going to find with this type of presentation in a lot of other places with over 20 years of numbers and data. So free cash flow, 12 months price free cash flow. This is a great one. Number of shares. So this is one of my favorite ones, which most other websites won't show or won't even talk about, is the share dilution or share buybacks. And we can see here that until 2012, Apple was slowly diluting the number of shares, and then from then on, they started actually repurchasing a significant number of shares. So that's one of the awesome things. We can see how the market cap has changed. This is different than a stock price because it takes into account the share dilution. So that's an interesting thing. Fairly Valued, one of my favorite websites. It's really simple, very easy to use. Links to a bunch of other fun sites. This one is just a great standard site. Number 4, yahoofinance.com. So Yahoo Finance, this is everybody's first stock research tool, I think. Everybody starts out here, but then they progress to bigger and better things. So it's a really good place, like if you want to look up a company quick, like let's look up Apple again, because we're using that as an example. We see Apple, it's just got the basic stats, market cap, beta, PE ratio, all the basic stuff. If you want to come to a place where you can get quick, on-the-minute information, Yahoo Finance is the place to go. So one of my favorite parts about Yahoo Finance, which a lot of people might not use, is the statistics tab under a stock. So there's the summary, chart, conversation, statistics. This one is my favorite probably because they do a really good job of showing concisely some statistics that I might like to know, like PE ratios, PEG ratios, price to sales, price to book. Then they have some interesting stuff, return on assets, return on equity, right there, boom. Very useful to know. Quarterly earnings growth year over year. That's important to know. Are they growing their earnings? Should they be trading at a higher multiple? That's a good question. We can see their cash and cash per share. We can see their total debt. It's just got all the stats you might want to know for a company really quickly. So if you want to come to a place, is a stock worth investigating? Yahoo Finance is a place to go. Number 5, Charles Schwab Research. So this one is a little bit more niche. I use this because I have a Schwab account and I really appreciate their services. So going into their specialty research tool here, their web research tool, we see they've got a ton of information. You can see here some of the companies I've looked up. Power REIT, there's another good one. I've showed you that one a lot. Refer to my other videos if you want to see more about that. We see economic data, calendar of earnings, all that, yada, 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 dividends, whatever else. But my favorite thing here is the research. So they have screeners. I really like their screener. So you can set up different screeners. Like I've set up a Peter Lynch screener that screens for Peter Lynch style stocks that he would like, that are his growth style stocks. I don't go after his other style stocks as much. I go after the growth style stocks. So here's a whole list of stocks that I could look from. Oh, do I like this one? And then I click on one. You might want to know what's happening. Okay, so you see here some quick stats with the bid, what's the ask, what's the stock price, a good chart. I appreciate their chart. It's very user friendly. We see a company profile in a prominent location, so it's easy to check if you're looking through a bunch of companies. Oh, what does this company do? What does that company do? So that's nice. We see here a visualization like a lot of the other services I've showed you, price earnings ratio, dividends. But here's one of the kickers. Their service has a lot of depth to it, which means if you click on something, there's more to look at. So I clicked on here the dividends, and you can see there's a ton to look at. There's so much information, comparing it to other stocks, comparing the dividend growth rate to other stocks. Just really good stuff. And you can see here, if we look at a company like Apple, what else is there? There's also the Morningstar research reports, which give you an overview of what Morningstar thinks the fair value of a company is. And it'll give you a rating, 1 star being the worst, 5 star being the best. So I encourage you, even if you don't have a Charles Schwab account, maybe open one, don't put any money in it, just so you can use their research tool, because I found a lot of value in their research tool alone. That was just my top 5 stock research tools. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I made it entertaining. Please subscribe if you want to hear more of these tips. I really don't want to give you any bad information. I'm just here to help you. So give it a like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.